Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Objection Celebrity Court Chatter. We're going to be talking about smear campaigns. Smear? What smear? What smear? Who's smearing who? We're going to be talking about three different types of smears today. Kim Kardashian is being accused of smearing a man through posting a picture on her social media, and she is fighting back by filing an anti-SLAPP motion. Drake is also trying to uncover receipts of a smear campaign against him, and Blake Lively as well. So you guys know that they both share a lawyer, Michael Gottlieb. And so it's going to be interesting to see that. We're going to get into all of that. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I know it's not our usual time, but I had some stuff come up this morning. So I appreciate y'all stopping by tonight to the stream. Oh, just snooping. It's 2 a.m. It's late for you, huh? Well, thanks for stopping by. It's going to be a quick episode. I'm just going to go through a couple things. And I see Kenny. Hi, Kenny. How are you? Jen. And of course, Christina, my lovely mod, helping us tonight. So we're just going to get right into it, you guys. 8 p.m. for Jane. Okay, so it's not that late for you. I know a lot of people wanted night shows. So I'm gonna try and balance it because a lot of people it was too early in the morning for them. So we'll find our um, our time slot, as we go. This is only week 2. Remember, I got sick last week, so this is only week 2 of us getting all this show together. I know for the night true crime shows we might go down to 2 nights a week. So I'll let you guys know on that. So thanks for being on the journey with me, and we'll pivot as we have to. As far as the time slot, but I appreciate y'all coming on and supporting my channel, and I can unleash all these Roman empires on y'all because that's why I create content when I'm like, I just can't stop thinking about it. I need to get it out. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, y'all. We're gonna start off with Kim. She just filed an anti-SLAPP an anti-SLAPP motion. Let me pull that up. Oh, thank you, Jane. I'm glad to be back. I feel 1,000% better. Like my throat's much better now. But yeah, let me pull it up, share the screen here for y'all. So here we go. We're starting with Kim Kardashian, and it says Kim Kardashian takes responsibility for photo mix-up in suit and contests anti-SLAPP charges. So we're just going to go ahead and read through this. Kim Kardashian says in court papers that her team accidentally used a photo of the wrong man with the same name as an inmate when posting a commentary about a person awaiting execution in Texas in early 2024. But then the error was corrected within hours. Kardashian's sworn declaration was filed Friday as part of her anti-SLAPP motion brought in opposition to plaintiff Yvonne Cantu's Los Angeles Superior Court lawsuit. And now that I'm covering all these cases, the hardest place to get like the PDFs and stuff of the actual lawsuits is the Los Angeles Superior Court because they're not on Court Listener. And so you just have to hope that somebody got the PDF and posted it somewhere. Otherwise, if you don't have something like Pacer where you can pay for it, it's hard to track them down. So just a little side note, but I didn't get I want to get my hands on the actual lawsuits. For both of them, the initial claim and then her anti-SLAPP, originally filed February 20th to allege defamation, false light, invasion of privacy, intentional infliction of emotional stress and negligence, not garden variety. I don't know if that's garden variety or not. The suit was amended May 28th to add a claim for misappropriation of likeness. And I saw someone post something about misappropriation of likeness on the Nice Pool, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni stuff. So this is the first time I've heard of that, misappropriation of likeness. So I'm going to look into like what that is. I didn't even know it was a legal thing. Cantu did not consent to, authorize, or otherwise permit Kardashian to use his photograph and or likeness in her Instagram post. The revised complaint now states, Cantu is seeking unspecified compensatory and punitive damages. But in her declaration, so this was just filed a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, the 44-year-old Kardashian says she was quick to acknowledge the February 26th photo, posting a mistake and or the photo posting mistake and take responsibility. She says, I immediately instructed my team to delete the story from Instagram and Facebook, and they did so. So she doesn't run her own socials, someone else did, which I wonder if that's going to come into play because it wasn't technically her. In a subsequent story that was posted on Instagram and Facebook that same day, I publicly apologized to the plaintiff for the mistaken use of the photo. And I remember seeing another article that it was within like hours, like 2 hours. So it was only up for like 2 hours. Kardashian says she continued to post stories about the inmate Yvonne Cantu's execution, which took place February 28th, after that mistaken posting was deleted. And there was another article that I read that what had happened was they kept using the same picture of him when they reported on it. But for some reason, one of her staff members or whoever's running her socials decided to Google it on the internet and was like, oh, here's a new picture we haven't used, and then used that, and it ended up not being him. But they do look similar. Each of this subsequent stories use the actual image of Mr. Cantu and not the plaintiff. So that's how she's defending herself. During the past 8 years, she has used her resources and platform to lobby for criminal justice. And in her court papers, Kardashian's attorneys state the Cantu suit is an attempt to cash in on a mistake that occurred in connection and as a direct result of her freedom of speech. So we all know about the anti-SLAPP because we've been covering all these defamation stuff. So it stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. And it's intended to prevent people from using the courts and potential threats of lawsuits to intimidate those who are exercising their First Amendment rights. So a hearing on Kardashian's motion is scheduled December 24th. So you see how the Blake Lively case is running so like fast. I don't know. From all the cases that I've been covering, I feel like the Lively versus Baldoni is on a fast track because the hearings on the motions don't take like months and months. And maybe, I don't know if it's because it's SCNY and maybe they don't have as busy of a schedule or something. I don't know. But look, so just for this one motion for the anti-SLAPP, it won't be heard until December. So we're going to have to wait a couple months. And it's before Judge Michael Small in the Los Angeles Superior Court. Her attorneys are asking the judge to dismiss the entire complaint, or at the minimum, that those claims in which Cantu cannot show a probability of prevailing. According to Cantu, he's a New York resident and was not awaiting execution. So, her mistake caused him hatred, contempt, and or ridicule. So he's basically saying she smeared him. So that's why we have her on the smear show today. So what do y'all think? Do you guys think this is just like a money grab because she made a mistake? But here's my thing. When Kim, I believe, is a billionaire, right? When you have that much money, I mean, just pay him. Like, okay, yes, his picture got out there and it might have gotten picked up by MSM. I'm not sure if it did. So I'm wondering, it was only up for 2 hours. Like, if I was Kim, is it better to just give him some money and just not have to go through court? Because she's spending the money anyways on lawyers. So I don't know. For me, I feel like it's not, I don't feel like it was really a smear on him. I feel like it was an accident. And, he is trying to get his 15 minutes as far as, oh, let me put my banner while I'm over here giving opinions. I always forget the banner. But yeah, so I don't really feel like that one is a smear, but y'all let me know what you think in the chat, if y'all think that's smear or if you think that, oh, thank you, just Khaleesi, you're putting it on the TV. That's how I watch all my creators now, on the TV. But thank you for stopping by, even if you can't do chat. So yeah, let's see, y'all are just, having a good time over here in the chat. And yes, Christina is the muscle. Yes, she is, and she does a great job at it too. So, we have a comment from Just Snooping here. Rich people spend their money stupidly. Yeah, like it's like you're paying the lawyers anyways. I feel like this one, it could just go away because, I don't know. She kind of was in the wrong, but it wasn't like technically her. So this is gonna be one that's gonna be cool to watch, and I want to read like the paperwork. I want to see, like, I've seen little nuggets here and there about who it was and how they were scrambling in the office, like, oh my gosh. So I just love like the little tiny nuggets in the filings like that, where you can see like the play by plays. Oh, thank you, Dr. J. I think CJ is excellent. Awesome. I think you guys are excellent. And I love chatting with you guys about everything that's going on. So let's move on to our second smear. So y'all let me know if that's smear or if you're in replay crew down in the comments. Let me know smear or no smear. DFJ, she's here. She's going to be watching on Tea Times, okay? Because I did use some of her stuff today. I was like, it feels like I'm in school and we're at the library and I'm like, I got a test I need to prep for because I didn't really get to sleuth a lot on what was going on with Subpoena and so DFJ was my go-to, and I was able to catch up on that today. I was like, I feel like I'm copying for the test. Like, where's your ex girl? Let me see what's going on. So we're gonna get into all that, but we're leaving Blake for the end because she's being talked about ad nauseum. I feel like let's start off with something something new and something fun, and then we'll get into the hoopla. But we do have some new stuff with the Lively case. Candace Owens has just entered the chat again. If you guys have not watched my TMZ3 episode, that was the last episode that I did. If you go into the lives, you can see all the episodes. There's one with, it's called Blake versus et al., which means all of the others, which is, everyone she's now trying to subpoena and do all this stuff for. So, yeah, if you guys haven't watched that one, go check that one out. But we kind of touched on whether Candace was going to file a motion to quash in Tennessee, and this was going to get a new state to battle it out. But she has now responded. And yes, Dr. J says Candace is furious. I was able to watch her today. So we're going to play a small clip of that and get into it. Hey, Wrathful. I don't like defending a Kardashian, but that was a mistake. Yeah, Jen. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because at the same time, I'm like, well, what if it did cost him stuff because, he was associated with this, person that was in jail. So I do feel like he should maybe get some money, but I don't know what all he's asking for. Everyone now these days is like the emotional damage and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. I'm teetering on that one. At the same time, I'm like, no, he doesn't deserve the money. I'm like, well, maybe he deserves a little bit. Yes, I'm not a bot. Candace isn't afraid of Blake, and Blake's crew is nuts. I mean, everyone's just battling it out. So we're gonna get into all that. Let's go ahead and transition into our next one, which is Drake. If you guys have not seen my episode on Drake versus UMG, I probably. Sorry, guys. I accidentally pulled up the YouTube. I was trying to go to YouTube because I'm going to pull it up to I'm going to pull up my channel so I can show you guys the other episodes real quick. So here is the episode. Where is it? Right here. Blake versus et al. Is this one. She's coming for everyone. That's the one I was telling y'all. But I did the Drake episode here. Blake and Drake legal trouble. So if you guys want to catch up on the Drake case, he's currently suing UMG. And it's in regards to Kendrick Lamar, who has a song called Not Like Us. And so both Drake and Kendrick are on this label, UMG. And he is claiming that UMG was using bots to smear him and allegedly, and that they were trying to get the song Not Like Us, that it was not organic that the song became viral, that this was a campaign by UMG because this was his last year in his contract. And so he's claiming that they were trying to devalue his brand and name so they didn't have to pay him as much when renewing his contract. And so they went all in on Kendrick Lamar and supported him while, supporting the besmirchment of him through a rap beef. And if you guys aren't familiar with rap beefs or what those are, it's basically just where two rappers will go head to head in songs back and forth. So one rapper will release one song, talking mess about the other one, and then the other one will reply, and then it'll go back and forth. And so, there's been several viral ones like, Tupac and Biggie, and, there's been a bunch of them, but and especially with Drake, he was Drake and Pusha T. That's how we found out Drake had a baby and was a father, But this time he decided to file a lawsuit. Initially, he filed it against Kendrick Lamar, and then he dropped that one, and then he went for UMG. Kendrick Lamar is not a defendant, but Here's the latest, y'all. UMG wants to subpoena Drake and Kendrick to potentially testify in Drake's federal defamation lawsuit against the music giant. So a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, on Monday, July 14th, both sides offered up lists of the people who they'd like to be subpoenaed as potential witnesses to testify in this case, where Drizzy is accusing UMG of defaming him by distributing K Dot's Not Like Us. Drake's legal team listed 63 individuals and entities who could have information pertinent to the case, including Drake himself, UMG CEO Lucian Grange, which I don't even like to say his name, we'll call him LG. But if you all watched Candace, she touched on him today. He's a name that's been coming up lately. Like Cat Williams says, sometimes, the light will start shining, and that's a person that, may be in some trouble here with people speaking out now. But keep your eye on that name. I don't really go into LG territory. There's him and, LT, Lou Taylor. I'll say it really quickly. Whisper it. Lou Taylor. LT from the Britney Spears saga. There's some people that I just don't talk about because, there's always problems when you talk about them. So anyways, Interscope Marketing President Steve Berman, Republic Records CEO Monte Littman, PG Lang, Our Nation, another one that I try not to talk about, but we did do one episode because our listeners wanted they wanted to know about it. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's the Damore Hadley, Nicki Minaj one that has Our Nation in it. But yeah, that's someone else that, is touchy to, a lot of creators have gotten their content taken down and stuff. Tidal, TikTok, YouTube, and more. So Tidal, TikTok, and YouTube, y'all remember Blake Lively tried to go after, YouTube creators, TikTok. And it seems to be a thing. And the strange part, well, maybe not so strange, is that both Blake and Drake have the same lawyer, who is Michael Gottlieb. So it makes sense that it would be the same tactics, right? TikTok, YouTube, he's trying to subpoena all that. UMG has filed a similar list, and it contains 9 names, including in the 9 are both Drake and Kendrick. Lamar is not listed as a defendant on this lawsuit. As a reminder, this was filed back in January, and it accuses UMG of knowingly defaming him by putting out Not Like Us, which refers to him as a child predator, and promoting the track through illegal means. UMG denied the claims and has been pushing for the judge to discontinue the case. As for now, it moves forward. So we're still waiting on Judge Vargas's ruling. So if y'all go watch that episode, Drake and Blake in legal trouble, you guys can catch up on, what the judge was saying when they had the hearing and everything. And we've been waiting. It's been about a month on her decision. XXL has reached out and nobody had any comments. So let's go check out the chat real quick. Oh, I wasn't sharing the screen. Well, sorry about that, y'all. I was not sharing the screen. Okay. The LA court docs are on an LA court site for a fee. If you know the case number, the $5 search fee at least. Is it $5 per case? So sorry, y'all, that I wasn't showing the screen. But yeah, this is just a little article from XXL. Let me make sure y'all can see the next one. I need to check the chat before I move on to the next one. Okay, so here's the next one. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. At least with Drake, we won't hear Darvo. Yeah. If I never hear that term again, I'll be so happy. Oh, you save $5 on the search fee if you know the case number, but you still pay for the docs. Yeah. I'm trying to still, because this is kind of just like a side gig. And so I haven't really put any money into it yet because I'm not monetized or anything. So I think once I become monetized and I can get, better software and all this other stuff, then, maybe I'll consider getting Pacer and start paying for the stuff. But I've been pretty good at sleuthing out the PDFs. What is that? Deadline. They sometimes publish them. Variety sometimes has them with their stories, which is crazy. It's like you should be able to just click on the story and go to the docs. I don't know why you can't. But yeah, so sorry I wasn't sharing my screen on that last one. Well, let me know what docs. Let me see what I can do. Oh, thank you, DFJ. Nothing. It was just the Kim Kardashian ones that I was kind of interested in. And then some of the I think I got the Spencer Pratt ones eventually because his is an LA court too, but I'm pretty sure I got all those ones. And then there was one in the most recent one in the Rebel Wilson one that I wasn't able to get, but I'm still sleuthing it because sometimes you can find them on Scribed. People will upload them to Scribe. That's where I got a lot of the Rebel Wilson ones. Um, so yeah, so let's just keep going with this smear campaign and what's going on um, with Drake real quick. So, a judge has authorized Drake to serve an elusive key witness accused of using botting tactics in the defamation lawsuit against UMG. On Wednesday, August 6th, so yesterday, U.S. District Judge Jeanette A. Vargas approved Drake's legal team to serve Kojo Mene Asamoah through alternative means, such as certified mail and posting it on the door. And this is like a new thing because I just remember like back in the day, if you couldn't serve them, then you couldn't serve them. And I don't really remember there'd be like alternatives. I remember people would like avoid service and then you didn't have to like do it. So I don't know if this is y'all in the chat can let me know if this has always been a thing where they could just post on the door. But again, it's Michael Gottlieb, and we know that for the Lively people, he was serving them through LinkedIn and through Instagram. So I don't know if this is like the new thing where like you can't avoid service. Which if you can serve through social media or emails, then that might put process servers out of a job. So something to look into, something interesting to just look into that it's kind of a little bit of my Roman Empire lately. Like, is this a new thing? Has it always been like that? Is it going to change because of technology? I know that you used to not have to show up for depositions if you weren't in the jurisdiction. Like if you lived more than 100 miles away, but now with Zoom, like there's this whole loophole in it. So, anyways, Drake's lawyers state that Asamoah possesses knowledge relating to UMG's use of covert tactics. So again, this is so similar to Blake Lively because they're trying to uncover the receipts of the smear campaign, and they believe Kojo holds those receipts. Drake also believes Asamoah was involved in directing payments and or financial incentives from UMG to third parties involved in online botting for the purpose of artificially inflating his stream numbers. So not only smearing him, but also, and I've never heard of a smear campaign through a song becoming viral. Like, well, the song was popular, but in Drake's eyes, it's like, no, they were trying to smear me, and that's why it was popular. So it says, despite hiring private investigators, his legal team has been unable to serve Asamoah. And we know that with Blake Lively, the same thing. And then today, if y'all aren't following the OVO docket, that's where I get all my news from this Drake and UMG, is that, let's see, Christina says, if personal delivery proved impossible despite reasonable efforts, some jurisdictions allowed for substitute service, where the documents could be left with the responsible adult at the person's home or workplace and then mailed to them. However, the server typically had to demonstrate that they had made good faith. So this is how they did it in the 90s. Yeah, that's what I remember. It was like, they had to have someone to hand it to. And, you'd see all these things where like people would like jump the fence at gated communities and, get disguises. Isn't there a movie? Like, is it Seth Rogen that's in it? No, I don't know. I remember there's a movie where it's like a process server. I'm pretty sure it is Seth Rogen. Pretty sure it is him. In the one movie with where Evan, I believe, is it Evan Rachel Woods? It's his girlfriend. What is that movie, y'all? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Pineapple Express. Yes, that's the movie. I was like, what is? I love my chat. Yesterday on the night episode, DFJ was saying how smart of a chat we have, and we seriously do. Like y'all are on it. Yep, Dr. J. Yeah, that's the one. So that's the thing with process servers. It's so funny. Okay, so yes, Christina, Spencer Pratt is killing it lately in LA. We're gonna do an update on him next week because he's gone all the way to Washington with this, so it's incredible. We'll have to update you guys on that next week sometime. So let's go ahead and read through this one real quick. This is the latest. The OVO docket at OVO docket. If y'all don't follow him, obviously this is more. It's kind of like a Drake. I don't know if they're a fan of Drake or what, but it's more leaning Drake. And since I was leaning more Kendrick, I like following this because it gives me like the other perspective. And it's not like with Blake Lively, like if you follow like ex patriarch or something it's not like that. Like it's a very intelligent person that runs this account that they make really, really good points about, the stuff that's going on with UMG, the stuff that's going on with, allegedly that they're doing. And so I don't know, it's given me food for thought. And so I'm kind of in the middle still. When Drake dropped his album, we're going to do an episode tomorrow morning about PR and using albums as PR. When Drake dropped his album, I kind of was like more Drake leaning, just because I love the song. So I was just like, maybe Drake's not so bad. But I remember in the beginning, I was like, oh, Drake is being so sensitive. Like, it's just a song, it's just a rap beef. Because Kendrick said a bunch of stuff about Drake. I mean, Drake said a bunch of stuff about Kendrick. Um, he called him a wife beater and stuff. So I'm like, like, can you really say? So this has so many tones of like Lively too, like where Lively was trying to tell Baldoni like the same stuff that she was doing, kind of. So, anyways, Drake's attorney has officially served Koje, so they have officially served him. As a reminder, Kojo is ordered to go to the LA office of Wilkie Farr and Gallagher, Michael Gottlieb's office. He is required to bring with him all electronic devices, information, and documents associated with the alleged covert tactics used to promote Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Failure to do so will result in Kojo being held in contempt of court. And so there he's got the letter, the document here that says all that. So that's where we're at with that, y'all. I believe that's the last one I had. Yeah, that's the last one I had on Drake. So y'all let me know in the chat whether or not y'all think that oh, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and look it up. But I didn't find the actual I wanted the anti-SLAPP and all that stuff. So I wonder cuz sometimes you'll see the docket. Like I went to LA Superior Court, but I couldn't like download anything. Like it didn't have anything. It was just like the title. So let me know, y'all, in the chat whether smear or not smear for Drake. Do y'all think that he's gonna uncover something with so this guy what is his name? Is it Cujo? Kojo. What is his name? Hold on one second. What was his name again? I kept saying Cujo. Kojo. Okay, Kojo. Cujo's the dog. Y'all watch that movie? Maybe I'm aging myself. Cujo. So Kojo is his A&R rep, was Kendrick's A&R rep. And so I'm wondering, y'all, if he's gonna find anything. Like, is he just like Blake? And do y'all think he's just kind of like going on a treasure hunt and doesn't have any proof and he's going on gut feeling, like vibes, and there's nothing there? Or y'all think he's gonna uncover? Yeah, Viola says I keep hearing Cujo too. Yeah, it's Kojo. Drake is genuinely not okay. So Jen is the first one to say no smear. Drake is genuinely not liked. And yeah, I mean, there's been other stuff that's been said about him before the song even came out. Normal people, like just content creators and normal, like just any, like I just remember hearing the stuff about him and Millie Bobby Brown, allegedly. And so, I mean, no one ever put it into a viral song or anything, but people were already saying these things about him way before the song. So, normally with rap beefs, what happens is they take stuff that's already out there about you and amplify it. So, I don't know, this could be setting precedent for rap lyrics, rap music. This is a case to like, really delve into because it can have a lot of repercussions, especially in the music industry. And this is a year that everybody wants to take down, the film industry, the music industry. They're exposing all this stuff on what goes on behind the scenes. And so that's where this one, because I've seen some names, that's where this one intrigues me. If some of these bigger names are going to go down. Christina says you can't sue for hurt feelings. No. We remember that. Jessica Lisa says no smear. I think Drake has hurt feelings. Yeah, Drake still has fans. I don't think his company would smear his name either because he's still big. Well, he's claiming they did it so that they didn't have to pay him as much. So I'm gonna delve into that aspect because I'm really curious about it. Where I want to know whether if his contract is now currently up or like did they resign him? Is he resigning with someone else? I want to know that whole thing. Yeah, Viola says, I forgot about that with Millie. Yeah. He hops personalities and creeps on young girls. Allegedly, that's what people say. He also has been called a fake cancer. There's no smear campaign in the chat, is there, y'all? No, I'm just kidding. Jane says, I think no smear. Um, but yeah, so see, people genuinely just have opinions. Like, this is just y'all's organic opinions. Mainstream media is trying to help take down content creators because you are putting them out of business. Yeah. Why can't these celebrities grasp the idea that people organically do not like them? Yeah, exactly, Marie. And with Drake, I don't know. I like his music and I didn't really care. Like, there's always celebrity gossip about people. I don't really like pay attention to it unless they do something like super egregious. I mean, if it turns out that he was like doing stuff like that, then of course I wouldn't, listen to his music or anything. But to me, I don't know. I haven't made the decision yet entirely on. For me, it was always just like a rumor, like, oh yeah, that is kind of like weird that he's like texting her and stuff, but like maybe he's just trying to mentor her. Maybe that's, like in Hollywood and stuff, those kids grow up faster. So a 13-year-old in Hollywood could be like a, 20-year-old as far as like maturity or whatever. So like if unless he was, flirting with her or like, sexing with her, then that's a different story. But if he was just giving her advice on, music or whatever, but she's not a singer, huh? She's an actress. Well, he's an actor too. I know Drake said that, but why trash another big rapper when you can have both on your label? Yeah, that does not make sense. Well, Nicki Minaj actually, I believe she actually said that there was a smear. She's also said that she was smeared on her label with R Nation and stuff like that. So, um, I don't know. It could be a thing that they do like behind the scenes. That's why I'm saying, like, on this one, I can't for sure say yes or no, and maybe I'm biased because I really, really like that new song, "What Did I Miss?" I just like that one, the beat's really good and stuff, so, um, that's why it's gonna be interesting tomorrow, it's on that episode, using albums as PR because how it can change public perception if people like the music or enjoy the music or how it can change your brand. We're gonna be talking about Justin Bieber and how his album where he puts his family in the forefront, how that's kind of been changing his image in public perception. Um, Jane says, I think it would be smarter to just ignore the criticism. She says, let's see the receipts. Well, that's what he's trying to get, Khaleesi. So hopefully, Koja, when does he have? Let's go look real quick. Up until when does he have? Let's go look. Let's pull it back up on the stage. Did it have a date in the letter? He has until, let's see when. It doesn't say when he has to go to the office. And this doesn't say either. So he's just ordered to go. So I wonder if he's just like ordered to go like tomorrow morning or something on August 7th. That's today. Yeah, that's the only day. Okay, so we're going to be looking into this. See if Kojo brings these electronic devices and what's taken from those if the proof comes out, but I have this feeling, I don't know, this is my gut feeling. I'm going to call it right now that it's going to be like the Blake situation and he's not going to find anything. That's just my gut feeling. So let's keep an eye on that. Follow the OVO docket. They have all the legal docs and everything, and they stay, up to date on all of that. And I'll try and update you guys as well. Next up, we have our favorite, Ashley Brianna Eve. If y'all don't follow Ashley Brianna Eve, give her a follow. She's one of my favorite creators, and she does PR, branding, and marketing stuff. She also does astrology and human design. So it's really interesting content, very educational. She posted last night, it's late, I'm going to go to bed, but I wanted to let y'all know that Blake continues to burn her brand to the ground and destroy anyone in her path. So here's the latest on the whole Blake Lively smear campaign. She is now claiming, so it was Jed Wallace, then it was Brian Friedman. Now she's trying to somehow drag the Skyline Agency LLC in Texas. This agency created a website. It says, Ashley says, the next lawsuit is going to be Lively versus the World. On her way there, she is dragging the agency that created the lawsuitinfo.com. If y'all don't know what the lawsuitinfo.com was, that was the one that Brian Friedman created where it's got, the exhibit A and the timeline, which really, really like turned everything around for Baldoni as far as in the eyes of the public because we were able to see the whole story. Yeah, don't mess with Texas. Texas don't play. They're not like New York and California. If you look at all the New York and California cases and stuff, there's always like some kind of like corrupt behavior and stuff. And in Texas, I mean, I haven't seen any cases. If y'all want to point me to some like crazy Texas ruling or whatever, from what I've seen, it's fair. It's a more fair family court, it seems like. Um, don't forget content creators. Oh, about as far as who smeared her. Um, so yeah. Oh, people were still talking about Drake. I missed some of the Drakes. I'm embarrassed for Drake. Okay, not at all. Texas hates outsiders coming in here trying to tell us what to do. Okay. Uh, she said hot mess lively. Yep, I said it. Well, no, yeah, like so now she's suing the company. And so it's basically because she believes that they have information because there's something called a privilege log. Um and in that privilege log, it's like stuff that you have but that you're not going to show them, so you have to still account for it, but you put it in a privilege log saying this is attorney client privilege. And they put that, but she's saying it's not a attorney client privilege, that conversation with this firm, because there were other people, third parties in the met text messages. So it wasn't just Baldoni and Friedman. It was, and I'll pull up her picture now, who's the girl who made it. It says, I'm going to read what Wookie Far Michael Gottlieb said. He said, Blake Lively respectfully submits this letter to notify the court and all parties to this action of a motion to compel non-parties, the Skyline Agency and Rosa Kalantari, to produce documents withheld on privilege grounds in response to subpoenas issued in connection with this action. And then she's also filed a motion to transfer the motion to compel back to this court. So from Texas back to here. So she filed it in Texas, which is probably their correct jurisdiction. And now she wants it to come to the New York courts, like with the other stuff. And so this is the filing, part of the filing. Ms. Lively brings this motion to compel because the claimed privileges, attorney-client, attorney work product, and common interest are baseless. You're baseless, he says. Ms. Kalantari's presence on the communication is by itself sufficient to destroy any privilege because she is a third party to the attorney-client relationship at issue, and she was not in any event involved in the provision of legal advice, as opposed to a public-facing media strategy. Indeed, the privilege log asserts that the topic of the withheld communications was building a website, and Discovery has confirmed that this refers to the lawsuitinfo.com. So that's basically what they're trying to sue for. Just like Jed Wallace. Yes, they're going after everybody. It was created for the lawyer privilege. I mean, it has communications that are attorney. So I'm not sure. It's still privilege for work product. That's what Maria is saying. So I'm wondering, that's a good question to ask some of the lawyers if on this filing. I'm going to try and see if NAG does a video on this filing. And yes, she has blamed everyone. You're right. So this is the woman who, Rosa Kalantari, Dallas Fort Worth. That's who she's trying to drag into. So another character. I feel like at this point we need like a small little vertical series introducing all the characters because it's just getting longer and longer and longer. But yeah, so she's now on the hunt for, communications with Rosa. So it's like she just wants to go into everyone's communications. It's just insanely crazy. She didn't find anything subpoenaing, Wayfair. We saw in the last episode, if y'all haven't seen yesterday morning's episode, we went over how she's trying to compel Wayfair again, saying like, they're not giving me the stuff. They're not giving me the stuff. But at the same time, it's like, if it's not there, how can they give it to them? So, yeah, she doesn't want to sue Wallace in Texas because she will lose just like Rosa. Yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Hold on. Yeah, to make it bigger for the screen. Me and DFJ figured this out yesterday that I can make it bigger, and I totally forgot today. Vertical is the way to pull people in. Very smart. Yeah, I'm thinking of just going vertical, because then I could do it on Instagram, TikTok, because I don't have a presence over there. So for sure, Rebel Wilson, I know everyone's been waiting on it, and they're like, what? I honestly just wanted to do like a 5-hour sit down with y'all. Like, just let's go over all of it. But it's so complicated that I'm like, vertical is going to be the way to go with that. So y'all can digest it and process it because it's a lot. Um, she went after Perez. He did 500 videos. Look, lady, you have 500 on the docket. It's not like he made anything up. Yeah. Like, come on now. So, yeah, you see, she filed to shorten the time to respond for Skyline. Yeah, because the documentary discovery deadline is coming up, I believe, on the 25th. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I believe August 25th is the cutoff for document discovery. So that's why she's trying to rush it. The website holds the receipts. What's the issue? Maybe that's the issue. She says in the filing, and I didn't pull that one up because I don't know, I forgot to pull it up. But in the actual filing, she says that the website had cherry picked evidence. And somebody commented, like, really cherry picked evidence when you literally cherry picked the evidence and gave it to the New York Times, and there's proof of that because he contributed the whole conversation. So how is it cherry picked? Like, yeah, of course he's gonna just put the stuff that, you know, claps back at your stuff. So it's not gonna have everything. I'm sure they had other stuff as well. Um, so yeah, that's just crazy to me that she said that. Oh, we're still talking about Drake over here, Khaleesi. I think Drake's a plant for sure. He has some good songs though. I think he speaks from experience about the PR, but it looks bad as a singer and as a rapper. Negative cred. Yeah, and the amicus brief that was filed was from a lot of rap scholars and stuff like that. That were talking about how this could have an impact on rap lyrics and stuff, and freedom of expression through rap. He's more of an R&B singer. Yeah, I like more of his R&B stuff. He's like a rap R&B artist, I guess. No, that's okay, Khaleesi. She's like, sorry, I left. No, that's okay. Bring Drake back in. No, the craziest part to me is that they share a lawyer, and so it's just like I almost don't like Drake on principle that Michael Gottlieb is his lawyer. So, but he did pretty well at the hearing. The last hearing that was about the motion to dismiss, I felt like Gottlieb he did pretty good. He held his own. And so I guess I had to start getting used to like not liking lawyers and then maybe liking them in other cases. Um, and not just because I honestly just am like, oh, Gottlieb's his lawyer. I'm not Team Drake, but I'm kind of in the middle with that one. So we're gonna get into subpoena gate. So thank you, DFJ, if you're still here. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for updating me on all of this because it goes by really, really fast. We're gonna talk about Perez. We're gonna get into him right now. Jane, I love how they actually put the names Perez, Calder in the letter. Yeah, we're gonna get into his letters right now, but first we're gonna get into Candace Owens. I'm gonna play this clip, and I know she's a polarizing figure right now. I don't want to get canceled for putting her up here or anything. Again, I'm just reporting, but so disclaimer there because I know that a lot of people don't like her and stuff like that. I enjoyed her coverage of Blake and Justin. I felt like I love the entertainment part of it where it was like my cousin Justin, and then how she would call herself Shug. I would say Shug Owens. So it was quite entertaining, and there was a couple nuggets that came out from her reporting. According to her, that website smeared her. Marie says, "Yeah, that's what she's saying, I guess." Candace is something, but she is fighting for a right. I mean, and the Macron stuff. I never watched the series. I want to watch it. Like I started to watch it, and then I just never finished it. Um, but I mean, it seemed compelling on the surface. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch it and see. And you know what got me about that whole thing was the fact that Donald Trump called her and was like, "Stop saying," like why would he call her to tell her to stop talking about it? I don't know. It's just weird. But I don't really follow politics that deep, so I don't know. Everyone's been asking me though in my DMs to cover that case. So eventually I'm gonna have to just read it and cover it. So let's get into Candace Owens. She says she finally spoke up. She asked why the judge is allowing this BS, says she would sue Lively for defamation for even suggesting anyone could put words in her mouth. She hates people who lie and try to ruin people's lives for telling the truth. And she says they're going to file the whole thing to get quashed. Lively asked her not to file the MTQ until they got response on the ruling. to get the info from Wayfair and Friedman. But then DFK says, wait, the judge already granted the motion to quash and against Friedman's law firm. And, he didn't grant, it was granted in part, denied in part. Did Lively's lawyers not tell her this? So anyways, we're going to play the little clip from Candace. Hopefully y'all can hear it.
To us also potentially the corruption of the courts. They started issuing all these subpoenas because Blake Lively's entire story, don't forget, is that there was some inside untraceable campaign and that it couldn't be possible that people organically disliked her, right? So no, but they must have been working with all of these people. And she starts throwing out these subpoenas. I got a subpoena. I didn't even know Justin Baldoni's name last year. I got a subpoena. How am I a part of this untraceable campaign? And of course, they wanted to see whether or not we had communications this year, 2025. Why? Why is the judge allowing them to go on this fishing expedition to pretend that anything that happened this year is relevant to the case that she filed last year? Apparently, she's trying to prove that it's still going on or something, and the judge is allowing this BS. Why would the judge allow this? This is an absolute nonsense. So we went to them and said, Candace has never been told what to publish. That was a part of their subpoena, wanting to figure out whether people were sending us talking points, whether or not people had paid us, whether or not people were encouraging, like asking us to say certain things throughout.
Wait, hold on. I want to pause it right there because she's like, whether people were telling us what to report. But see, the thing with her channel is she has a tips line where people can send her tips on like, oh, hey, because I remember when the Brandon Sklenar stuff was going on, I said a tip that was like, oh, Brendan Sklenar is about to be Batman or whatever. So I don't know. It's like, if a tip is a tip saying like, this is what I want you to say, or is it just a tip? Like, so I don't know. That part of the episode, I was like, no one's putting words in her mouth. It's like you send the tips, the producers look at it, and then they, pick what the show is about. I mean, it's just like TMZ. TMZ gets tips. Daily Mail gets tips. It's just like any reporter. So now she's saying, that's seeding. Anyways, let's finish it.
Episode, it's a nonsense. In fact, I should sue them for defamation for even suggesting that I would let somebody put words in my mouth. It's bad for my brand. You hurt me now. That feels like an untraceable campaign. Blake Lively, okay? Cut that out right now. And he said, obviously that's not true. Do you even know who Candace is? And we absolutely are not giving you our communications. We will file to completely quash this subpoena, and we will win because we will cite reporter's privilege. You know that. And they asked us not to file the quash until they could see they filed some motion, whether or not they could win on forcing the defendants of this case, Brian Friedman and Koje, Justin Baldoni, to have to give their communications so that it won't actually involve me at all, meaning we can get them, they will be subpoenaed and they will have to turn over their communications rather than including you. Yeah, that would kind of be the big idea between all of you guys. And again, it seems very strange to me that they're trying to pivot a strategy here and they're no longer concerned with what was leading up to this lawsuit, but they're trying to prove that this campaign is happening now. All I can say to you is, legitimately, from the bottom of my heart, I hate people who lie. I cannot stand the idea of people being so wealthy and so connected that they can ruin people's lives. This is also my emotional attachment to this Brigitte story now, right? You're trying to ruin people's lives for telling the truth.
So yeah, and shout out to DFJ for that wonderful video. I told her, I was like, you need to start a YouTube channel, and she did. So if y'all don't follow her on YouTube, she has all these shorts that she's been making. Super talented. I love the music and everything. It was great. So thank you for the video, DFJ. If Christina can link her, it's at Don't Fuck With Justice, FCKW Justice. So she can link it there. Y'all check out her YouTube. It's got all these shorts, and that was one of them. So I mean, I found that extremely compelling where she says that they told her, don't file the motion to quash yet. Wait, because we might be able to get it from Friedman. And see how like each person they deal with differently. Like when they talk to Without a Crystal Ball, or when they talk to Kirsty, or when they talk to Andy, or when they talk, like it seems like everybody's being told different things. So that's also strange to me. Like, what do you mean? Don't file it, just wait. And then, like she said, they just ruled on that. So now what? Like, does she have to file it now? Or are they going to wait till document discovery? Because document discovery is coming up pretty soon. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. And luckily, I mean, they both have lawyers, and it's always easier when there's lawyers. So let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Yeah, that was really great, huh, Viola? Yeah, I liked it. And so, yeah, Christina's linking her YouTube and stuff. Yeah, that's how the news works with tips. Exactly. So what am I discussing? Oh, she discusses it in a minute. What are you talking about, Candace, Jane? This is my first YouTube excursion on the lively drama. Thank you, Dr. J. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel, and that's, we update on the lively stuff a lot. And if you go to my X under highlights, it's got the most recent. You can kind of catch up with most of the case because I've highlighted timelines and stuff like that on there. But this might be before trial a good thing to do a little vertical on all the people and everything to catch everyone up. I'm trying to ruin people's lives. Isn't that what she is doing by insisting that a certain person was really born a man? Does it really matter if he's a man, a woman, or a cat? Well, yeah. And a lot of these times it's like projection. Like when somebody says, oh, don't do this. Like I've noticed when people are like, you can't talk about other people because it's ruining their lives. But then they talk about that is a weird thing and a very great point, Quarter Faith. I don't know that it matters if she's a man or not. Maybe it does. I don't know the story well enough to know what the value is in us knowing, maybe because Macron is a world leader and the situation on how they got together, even if she was a woman and he was a minor, it's just exposing dark stuff, I guess, just like anybody. It's just a story. So I feel like in a way everyone kind of and I had a thing up. Dang it. Let me see if I have it and I'll pull it up if I can message it to myself. It was a talking point that I was going to start off with if it was the morning stream, and I totally forgot about it. But let me just read it. I won't pull it up because I got to send it to myself and all that. But let me just read it. It's in my pictures on my phone. But I found it really compelling. It said, should we all be taking a step back to assess our behavior rather than continue feasting joyously on the bodies of celebrities' dears? Or are they fair game simply because they're public figures with money in the bank and gossiping gives us a kick? And I ask this as someone who truly does love a gossip sesh. And what impact does us having our noses pushed up against the glass, breathing heavily, have on the cases themselves? And so this was an excerpt from an article talking about celebrity court cases and how we, report on them and stuff like that. So I found it compelling because I was like, it made me look into myself like, okay, well, yeah, I love gossip and stuff. And so are we doing some of the same stuff that we're, talking about other people doing? So definitely something like a philosophical talk. Maybe I'll do like a night show and do a philosophical talk on that. I know we did one about on the true crime show about forgiveness and covering true crime and why we watch it and whether horror movies are contributing to more crime, slasher films and stuff like that, because it was the Kohberger case. So anyways, Bilo says she says it runs much deeper than just man or woman and all that. It's the elites trying to take away our speech. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff, y'all. I just like to follow it with y'all and chat about it, for entertainment purposes only. DFJ inmate 214. I forget. I keep saying his name. We're not supposed to call him his name because of the things he did. So this is the Idaho 4 slasher. We call him inmate 214. So I totally forgot. Thanks, DFJ, for the reminder. We should plan any Candace stuff beforehand just so people don't twist your words, CJ. Well, yeah, I don't condone, there's people who have problems with her with the stuff that's going on politically in other countries and stuff like that. But see, because I don't follow all that, sometimes it's hard for me to have an opinion on somebody when I don't know the full aspect of what they report on and what they do, because I follow people in pieces, for certain cases I follow different people. So that's why I said the disclaimer beforehand that, me talking about Candace on the show and stuff. I was going to stay away from the Macron stuff just because I don't like heavily charged stuff like that. But, I keep getting, even to this day, today, I still get DMs saying, hey, can you cover the Macron case? So, that's what the followers want. Just like Tamora Hadley, I didn't want to report on that because it was dangerous. And I just did one quick episode on it. And it helped that Nicki Minaj came out too. So it kind of was more Nicki leaning. So that helped. So let's just finish wrapping up with Perez. So there's Subpoena Gate, but there is also Perez Gate. So I'm coining it now instead of subpoena gate. He's his own niche. Another controversial figure. Um, so both of these, part of the TMZ3. If y'all haven't watched the TMZ3 episode, y'all go check that out. It's in my lives. But yeah, it's a lot of people say that the reason why these three got chosen was because they were kind of controversial content creators in one way or another. And so, yeah, let's move on to Perez, who, the content creators are getting upset with him. I was watching his stuff before I came on, and I was watching some of his stuff, and he was going to say, like, my response to content creators who are mad at me, but then I had to start the show. So if anyone in the chat did watch that and can tell me what he said. But I do know he gave us some tea in the beginning of that show, because he said that there's a reason to the insanity, and that he's being strategic, according to him, and that Blake Lively should be careful what she wishes for, because like what she can find out. Like, it was something so cryptic that made me think, like, is it someone on her, or his sources, maybe someone on her side? And it reminded me back to when people were accusing Leslie of, like, planning stories and then fixing them. And I was like, interesting. But I don't know, speculation, entertainment purposes only. That was just something that I was like, maybe. But yeah, he was really cryptic about that part. He filed a correction to his letter where he called Lively the defendant. And he also asked for sanctions against Michael Gottlieb for misleading the court and suggesting that Perez said something that he did not. In that letter, he acknowledged that given the judge's favoritism of Lively, that he understands his request has a slim to none chance of being granted. And so the way that he writes these letters, I love it, because I can hear it in his Mario Armando Lavandera Jr., professionally known as Perez. And I know it's not like everyone's, cup of tea, because it is. I understand both sides of the argument, where it's like, it's a federal courtroom, Same thing with officers. Like, there's certain places where, like, decorum is expected. Like, you can't just go up to a police officer and be like, what the fuck, or whatever, like, there's certain ways that you talk to certain peoples, and a judge is one of those. But Perez has always been kind of like a rebel. So I mean, I don't I kind of see, like, he's basically acting like himself, but I also get the whole it's a federal courtroom, but it's entertaining at the very least, and sometimes I'm like, am I just following these cases for entertainment? But I mean, I got to be real with myself. There is a part of me that, yes, I follow it for entertainment. I don't watch that much TV anymore, because I watch reality TV cases, as far as, like, court cases. That's my new reality TV. Perez is Perez. He's not a reflection of the other creators. But I do get the point that maybe, he'll lash out at everybody, because, he's just like, screw this. I get both sides, but I mean, I am enjoying. I have one more subpoena update from him on my page. Okay, I'll go right now. I'm not chiming in on either side of that business. I mean, I'm not either. I'm technically in the I'm just here reporting, I guess, but I can see both sides, I think. So I'm in the middle, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have said much, but I get, I mean, I get both sides. I see it. I just, now that Perez is saying it's strategic, I'm just like sad, because I'm like, now what? Like, and it was this way with Depp versus Heard. Like, people were not in the courtroom, respecting. There was so much craziness in that courtroom in Depp versus Heard, as far as, remember, you guys remember that one guy who was he like his driver? It was like the chubby guy. He said some pretty funny stuff. I forget what his name was, but yeah, I don't know. There's just, like, so many viral funny moments. I love that she's offended by Perez. Raisin Eyes can call Justin an S predator and a wimpy character that Blake kills in Deadpool, but he can call her Blake face Blake, but he can't call her that. Yeah, it's like, they're making fun of people. That's what I'm saying, that it's like, I don't know. I'm torn on he said, thanks for the attention. Oh, this is what he said to the content creators. And he said he does the antics to get headlines and more eyes on it, something like that. And you know what? I was going to say that, because if you look at the SEO on Blake Lively, it's all like Blake drags Perez Hilton, da da da. And then in the article, it's like basically talking about this. And I get it that some people don't like, it makes us look unhinged and da da da. But Perez has been, doing these kind of tactics for a while. He's been sued a bunch too. I was looking into some of the lawsuits and stuff. So it's not like his first rodeo. Maybe, on his own, prose might be, but it is affecting the like PR stuff. So let me go look at the newest update. Let's see. Perez is going to be Perez. Wait. Perez is going to be Perez. We aren't going to change his mind, so we just need to accept him. Well, a lot of people it's not hit their cup of tea. A lot of people just never followed him before because they didn't, like what, the way he bullied celebrities before or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Let me just move on. I love Perez, but I also was like, I guess it was cringe. Some of the other letters, like the one that said WTF LOL, like he's just talking casually to the judge. But maybe because I'm entertained by it, and it is a serious case. It's an SH case, but I'm also entertained by, the parodies that Be Better made and Michael Pavarano, I think his name is, and all the other skits. Like I'm entertained by him and knowing that it's like a serious, like, Baldoni's being accused, and, I make memes and edits and stuff. So I don't know. That's what makes me torn. It's like, do I just take it super seriously and just report super seriously, or is there like room for like snark and stuff? Michael Pavano, thank you for, what did I say? Pavano? I don't know. I messed up his name. So let me just go to the latest update with DFJ. Here's the letters, the other ones, real quick. Is this see, this is to which I respond, WTF, LOL. And so it's just like short little letters, like it's not in any format for a court or anything. It's like these little letters. So let me go to DFJ's page real quick and let me refresh it. Is this one it right here? Is this the right one? This is 4 hours ago. Maybe not. Let me see. Is there another one previously? Oh, 1 hour ago. Okay, here we go. No, that was so it's this one. DFJ, is it that one? Yes. Okay, it is that one. Okay, so that's the right one. So he files a letter requesting the court to unseal it all. Okay. Oh, okay. So, and a non-response to his motion to compel, asking for sanctions against Ezra. The first letter made me laugh. The second letter made me laugh and cringe. At Perez, I do hope you win against the Van Zandt scammers legal team. And this is a cool little GIF. She's so creative that she made. Ethically challenged Ezra. Yeah, I remember yesterday you said that deserves its own meme. So this is where he says, award me fees. We should sanction. So now he's trying to sanction Hudson too. It says, I have never consented to the SDNY jurisdiction. It says, my rudimentary findings are consistent with what I already know, what you know, and what all of the Van Zandt scammers legal team know. I look forward to litigating and winning in Nevada. And then what's this? The sanctions part was good. This letter is a request for sanctions against Ms. Hudson, which your sexy and smart self. Yeah, and that's another thing that, like, people are like, he's calling the judge sexy. It pains me that I cannot respond to the motion to compel, but unless I am giving the unredacted version of that and all the exhibits unredacted as well, then I am afraid this letter as a non-response will have to suffice. So he's basically saying, like, I need to see those unredacted filings. I'm not responding to the motion to compel. I want to remind everyone yet again that, I filed it in Nevada and it's in Nevada. So he wants to play ball in Nevada. And like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm sat with this through an entertainment lens that I'm here for all of this. But I also like all the creators that are like, against it, that are saying like we shouldn't support this and stuff. So, I'm just hoping that that the motion to quash like leaves and then we can all enjoy the trial together again, because I don't want to have to be like the kid of divorced parents and like, be like, oh, you can't, because it's entertaining. It says Ezra wants him to do this. Yeah, that's what a lot of content creators are saying, that they want him to act up so they can be like, yeah, see, we were right, look at, he's blah blah. But there was so many other people who called her names too, because Klux Khaleesi was not a Perez Hilton original. That I believe, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe that came from Bohemian Diva over on TikTok when she was like Timu Thor, Ku Klux Khaleesi. So I believe she came up with a lot of those nicknames. I think he had some originals, but those I believe came from TikTok. So I would be scared of him making that stuff public. What stuff, Christina? Making the stuff, what stuff public? Let's see. I love how he mentioned how little effort he put into one of the letters I read. But then he made an episode or live the other day where he's just like, I'm so stressed out. So it's just like, this is his persona almost. I feel like Perez is the persona, and maybe like the real Mario is stressed, but then, Perez is being Perez. I don't know. All I know is that it adds like a whole other layer to the whole story. Like it's been layer and layer and layer, when Jed entered the chat, when Steph Jones, look at all the drama when Steph Jones had like the psychic stuff and all that. Like it's been an entertaining case. Yes, it stemmed from like some real charges that he's being accused of SH, but I believe the reason why it went so viral and everything is because there's so much to the story and there's entertaining aspects to it. And I feel like we've all fallen into the entertainment aspect of it, in some ways, So he did a live where he was really down and stressed and worried about his kids. And a lot of people are like, well, if you're worried about your kids, don't draw attention to yourself, which valid. But I think he's just doing it. It's like with Nicki Minaj, where she's like allegedly for entertainment purposes, but she's saying it out loud. So that way, like if anything happens to her, anything like pops off, then it's like out in the world. Like the more you talk out loud, the safer you are. So I feel like it has kind of aspects of that sprinkled into it too. And he is like all over MSM now. So maybe it was a PR move. We're going to talk about him on our episode tomorrow as we wrap up here. Tune in tomorrow. I'm going to have Jeremy. I still don't remember how to say his last name, but he's a PR guy. Let me see if I can pull up his X real quick. It's going to be at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, a special show on PR. And at the last minute, I wanted to add Perez Hilton and get his take on the PR behind. So he possibly will be on the show. Either way, we'll be talking about Justin Bieber, his album and, the PR stuff going around him being, on drugs and getting a divorce and how he kind of turned that around. We're going to be talking about Brad Pitt. If y'all haven't watched the episode on Brad Pitt that I did yesterday, his lawsuit with Angelina and just, how the PR game has gone with him. He's basically gone from being a alleged abuser, alcoholic, and had a really, really, bad dad. His kids were, talking crap about him, to now he's premiering the F1 movie. And so we're going to talk about that turnaround, more about Blake's PR. I'm going to get into, and let me pull up my ex here real quick. I did this post yesterday about Lindsay Lohan. If y'all don't know, Lindsay Lohan and Blake Lively share a publicist who's Leslie Sloan. So they share a publicist, and I had posted this because we're going to be talking about Lindsay on the episode. I have so much Eagle stuff. I'm trying to find it. Hold on one second, y'all. I know where did I post it? I have all these Eagle stuff. Today actually the Eagles played and I believe they won the game. I came on here and they were ahead, so I'm not sure if they won, but sports is coming up. I don't know if y'all follow sports, but I'm going to be warning y'all ahead of time that I'm going to be obnoxious about the Eagles. So there's going to be a lot of posts on that as well. Yeah, I can't find it. Let me just Google Lindsay. Okay, here it is. Let me share this tab. Hold on one second. So I was like, imagine being Blake and your career has just imploded. And meanwhile, your PR agent gave Lindsay Lohan this comeback. And then the meme says, she really doesn't like you. But look at Lindsay Lohan. Like, look at this. Like, it's crazy. It says, Lindsay Lohan serving fresh, rejuvenated. Her comeback has been great to witness. Like, and they have the same PR person, and so she's doing a great job with Lindsay. Like, y'all remember everything that happened to Lindsay, and she was Lindsay's PR when she was going, downhill. Which at one point I was like, dang, she was PR for Britney Spears during her downhill time, Lindsay Lohan during her. So I was like, maybe the rumors are true that she she takes advantage of people being down and like leaks the stories or whatever. But she did bring Lindsay back from the dead, I believe. So I don't know. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow's episode. Let's see what the chat is saying as we wrap here. We're gonna wrap up with the song by Kirby. Her doctor is amazing. Yes. Oh, shout out to Texas. Lots of Texas in the chat. Yes. Shout out to Texas for sure. And oh look, Bucks. Oh, y'all talking sports. Bucks country, Cowboys. Yeah, so if y'all are into sports, I'm also thinking I want to do a sports podcast. So I might get into that. Not sure yet because I'm barely starting with this, so I don't want to start doing too much. But I love, love, love talking sports, especially football. I'm thinking of just doing like a new X account just for that because it seems like my algo doesn't. It's not very sports friendly. It's just lively friendly. So, yeah. So we're just gonna wrap up here. Christina says hockey's her only sport. I don't really watch hockey that much. I used to watch it back in the day when Bieber kind of made it a little popular, or like he would be at the games and stuff. And so then I was like, oh, I'm gonna check it out. But I don't anymore. So with Blake, obviously we know that there's a non-existent smear campaign with her. So I'm not even gonna pose the question to the chat. But this was the episode on oh, Jane, you love Jalen Hurts. You have the jersey. I have his jersey too. That's so cool, Jane. We can bond on Jalen. He's incredible, like someone to aspire to, and his work ethic is so insane. Like in the mornings when I don't want to wake up, I channel my inner Jalen. Or like when it's hot outside and I have to like, go for a walk or a hike, I'm like inner Jalen because he's always like an advocate for pushing through and stuff. And just all the Eagles players are like that. I love, love, love the team. I could go on for days talking about Eagles. CJ wasn't even born last time no, yes, I was. Last time they won the Super Bowl. I was, but thank you. That's a compliment. CJ's a baby. No, I've been following the Eagles for a long, long time. You'd be surprised. Penn State. Oh, so you do college football. Yeah, I kind of follow college football a little bit. I know Texas is really, really big. Matthew McConaughey is always at the games and stuff like that. So he kind of popularized college football for me. It's always a celebrity, right? With the Eagles, it was just the Eagles' work ethic mostly. That's what I'm the most attracted to, and what I call sports ballet, football ballet. They have some of the best moves. Y'all saw Saquon Barkley. If y'all don't follow sports, but he did like an incredible move over someone's head, and like the jukes, everything. It's incredible to watch their form. But yeah, oh, I'm talking the Cowboys. You weren't born when they oh, okay. When the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Okay, yeah. I don't remember. I don't even know any years of when the Cowboys won or not. I don't really follow the Cowboys like that because they're our number one nemesis. I'm just focused on the footer running on the screen. Allegedly, yeah. I want to eventually get merch that says allegedly because that's like the one thing that I always say on all the streams. And even in the comments, someone's like, "You're not going to get in trouble for what people say in the comments." I'm like, "Well, you never know these days." There was a filing for the Blake Lively that said that if you like something, if you repost something, but so I'm always like allegedly, or if even on my ex someone posts something, I'll put the little meme or gif allegedly. But okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap up here because it's already I went 15 minutes over. I'm gonna pull up this video from Kirby on our way out. I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Please stay tuned for the episode tomorrow morning. There will be no night shows, and I'll see you guys back again on Monday. But tomorrow we have one more special episode on PR if you're interested in that. Hopefully Ashley can come on. I know she was kind of taking a break from everything, but hopefully she comes on it as well. I'm gonna try one more time to nudge her. But let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let me put it up here. Kirby song. All right, y'all.
Say hello to the girl with the brand. Speaking up for girls, but I'm selective. Gave the press the dirt and some lies in advance. But through the CRD, I'm so protected. I sue for a smear campaign, then launch my own with stolen data. And who am I to claim? With no evidence, gotta need some answers. What am I to do with my lies? They won't find them out, don't worry. How am I supposed to fake what's right? I just frame it for the jury. I can't help play the victim, and it all comes down to pure projection. Steady fetching me within an inch of my life, but I'm the one obsessed with losing weight. I told him that his nose was too big for his face. Oh my God, he tried to retaliate. Accuse him of unscripted touch, even though I'd caressed his neck, then lean as though our lips would brush. Wait, why'd he pull away? God, I need some answers. What am I to do with my lies? They won't find them out, don't worry. Why am I the one they criticize? I found my emotions in a flurry. I just live to play the victim, and it all comes down to pure projection. I need time, press, control, spin, fame, lies. I need revenge, I need teeth. I don't need nobody telling me what I planted, what I'm going to do about discovery. I say no, nobody's serving me that. I'm so fed up with people telling me to be a decent human being. Action! What am I to do with my lies? Call the press and just spin it. How am I supposed to smear and cry? Ask the New York Times to print it. I'll depose the algorithm, and it all comes down to pure projection. What if they see that I gaslight? Just pretend that it's misogyny. How do I distort and weaponize? Bury them all with discovery. I subpoena my own reflection, and it all comes down to pure projection. This is bigger than me. It's for all women, except the ones I subpoenaed.